Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the addition and property of inequalities for this second section. And those are basically, it's identical to, the equality practices, and it's basically saying this. All right, for the most part, if I add or subtract anything to an inequality, I have to add or subtract that same anything to both sides. It keeps the balance. So what are solutions of x minus 5 is greater than negative 12? This guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 15 to both sides. So I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And now I get x is greater than positive 3. Now this graph, I'm going to draw a line. Okay, I'm going to put a tick right here. I'm going to put a 3 here. Now, is the 3 open or closed? Well, I think the 3 is open, and I shade to the right because the variable is on the left-hand side. Makes sense? Why don't you try that with the got it? I'll see you here in less than a minute. All right, this guy right here, same thing. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Okay, so now I got 13 is greater than or equal to x. Now I'm going to go ahead and put x here, and I'm going to put 13 here, and the arrow is pointing at the little guy, the x, so I'm going to do that. Now the graph, I go right here, I put a tick at 3, solid dot at, or excuse me, tick at 13, solid dot at 13, and I move the arrow to the right. Now it says graph and check the solutions. Give me a number smaller than 13. How about 10? All right, if I put 10 in here, is 10 greater than or equal to 10 minus 3? What is 10 minus 3? 10 minus 3 is 7. 10 is in fact greater than or equal to 7. It's greater, so it works. Easy. All right, you got it from problem number 2. Why don't you do it real quick, and I'll see you here in a minute. All right, subtraction is the same thing. I'm going to take away this 6 from both sides. Now I have a t is greater than negative 10. If I graph this solution, I go ahead and I put a tick mark at t. I put an tick mark not at t, but at negative 10. I put an open circle and I shade to the right. Why is it an open circle? Because it's greater than. Why is it to the right? Because the arrow is pointing that way and the variable is on the left hand side. Okay, you have a got it. It's right there. You see it? Look beneath the problem number 3. All right, I'll see you back here in a minute. 4. Now we're starting to deal with some word problems. We got the hard drive on your computer has a capacity of 120 gigabytes, and then you have used 85 gigabytes. You want to have some of your home videos of your hard drive. What are the possible sizes of the home video collection you can save? All right, now what I notice is capacity of 120 gigabytes. You have used 85 gigabytes. What are the possible sizes of the home video collection you can save? So when I'm doing this, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to go V for video. I know that I have 85 total, so 85 plus what more I can have has to be less than or equal to 120 gigabytes. Does that make sense? All right, now in this case, I'm going to subtract 85 from both sides. I'm going to subtract 85 from both sides. And now I get V is less than or equal to 120 take away 85 is 35. So I can have anywhere between 35 or less, 35 less, 35 gigs, 35, how about this? 35 gigs or less is what I can use because that makes sense. All right, you haven't got it for problem number 4. Why don't you go ahead and do that? Also, do you know what equivalent inequalities are? All right, if you don't, then put that in your words now. But what equivalent inequalities are is if you have like x is less than or equal to 4 versus 4 is greater than or equal to x. Those are equivalent. The addition and subtraction properties of inequality, those are the guys where you have like A is greater than B, then A plus C is still greater than B plus C. And if A is greater than B, or excuse me, if it's less than, then A plus C is still less than B plus C. And this works for the minus as well. Okay? So if you know those, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. Check out where you're at on this. And I look forward to seeing you in class real soon. And may the force be with you.